My name is Alan Weisleder, and I'm a partner at OurCrowd and the head of the Investor Relations Group. I want to introduce you to a few of the companies that are funding on our platform right now. But before I do that, I'd like to share with you once again a little bit about how our model works, because what we're doing at OurCrowd is really different than standard venture capital firms. We're a hybrid model. Like a venture capital firm, we're looking at 150 to 200 companies every month across sectors and stages. We are deep diving into about 15 or 20 of those and selecting 2 or 3 that will actually invest our money. We put our own money into each of these startups, and up until now, this is no different than any other venture capital firm that you know. Where it's dramatically different and very revolutionary is that then we will invite our network of investors to join us and co-invest with us. And our network is made of institutional investors, family offices, and qualified purchasers and accredited investors at large, as well as many multinationals that are invited to invest with us in our deals. So you get the freedom of choice because you get to see all the deals that we're doing, but you get to say, that's the one I want. Okay, and I'm going to show you a few deals, and I'm going to invite some of these companies on stage very briefly. Before I do that, it's important to note that we're almost always co-investing with one of the world's leading venture capital firms, leading angels, or multinational companies. Khosla Ventures, Menlo Ventures, Sequoia, Kleiner Perkins, all of these are co-investors of ours. And when our network of investors, when you invest with us, you're basically investing with them, and the term sheet is the same term sheet. So everybody is coming in on the same terms. With that, I'd like to start by introducing you to one of the companies on our platform right now. It's called Perception Point, and it's a cybersecurity company that is stopping malware and phishing attacks. They were ranked by SC Labs in a recent benchmark as the #1 malware prevention solution, okay? And they were compared with Symantec and with Microsoft and with Forcepoint. And I have the pleasure of having on stage with me here Corey Chang, the Chief Marketing Officer and Chief Strategy Officer of Perception Point. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having us here in Bom Dia. I think you had a couple of
I wanted to ask you, what's unique about Perception Point? How is it that a new entrant into this market, when you have Symantec and Microsoft, how is a startup coming out of Israel can suddenly take the #1 spot?
It's not easy, but we're managing it. We consider ourselves to be a next-gen threat detection platform for the enterprise. Now, I know in the world of cybersecurity that may not sound that unique, but this is the essence of what we're doing. So we're doing that in 2 ways that make us very effective and give us a score such as those. So one is our ability to detect advanced threats. So advanced threats are a huge problem for the enterprise today, and it's only getting worse, and they're costing hundreds of millions of dollars because the market standard solution called sandboxes simply aren't as effective as they used to be. The way sandboxes work is they detect malware by detecting its behavior, and if it behaves in a malicious way, then it stops the malware. But attackers have learned how to change that behavior and how to change the behavior in order to evade sandboxes, and this is commonly known in the industry. So what our founders, who are both commanders from the cyber intelligence units in the Israeli military, have done is they identified how to use a new technology from Intel that was only introduced a couple of years ago to actually achieve a whole new level of visibility into advanced attacks. So rather than detecting behavior, it actually X-rays the code as it's coming in and detects anomalies in the code. And this way, our engines actually can't be fooled. Hence, why we outperform leading companies like Symantec and Proofpoint. Secondly, when you build a platform, you're building it for your customer and his needs of today as well as tomorrow. And many of the legacy solutions were built 10 years ago when enterprises were entirely different. And today, the common trait for enterprises is 91% of enterprises are going digital first. They're in a state of digital transformation. meaning they need speed, scale, and flexibility, and they need a detection platform that covers multiple channels. And this is what we've built our platform to do from the ground up, and hence why we're taking advantage of this transformation in order to win some very big customers.
And tell us about the customers, Corey, because you just started selling this year, I believe, and you have some prominent customers. Tell us about the traction.
Yes, so we just launched this year, as Alan said, and we've managed to get quite a few customers with known names within the sizes of 1,000 to 10,000 employees, where in head-to-head competitions we've displaced Proofpoint, displaced FireEye, displaced Microsoft, and we're in the final negotiations for some customers in the 100,000 plus employee size, known names in the US, where we're displacing Microsoft. And secondly, a common trait in the cybersecurity industry is co-opetition. So Palo Alto Networks is using solutions from Proofpoint, and Symantec is using solutions from FireEye. And we're about to enter production to become the advanced threat engine for one of the major cybersecurity brands known globally. And we're also in the final stages of a POC with one of the tech giants to become their advanced threat engine to displace that old technology of sandboxes with our new technology.
Thank you very much, Corey. Thanks for coming from San Francisco, California to join us today.
Actually, Tel Aviv.
You came from Tel Aviv?
I came from Tel Aviv.
Oh, all right. Good to have you. Next up is PlaySite. And to understand what this company does, imagine for a moment your daughter's or your son's basketball team. Imagine being able to watch their games from your phone. Imagine the teams broadcasting, tracking, analyzing, replaying, and improving their game. PlaySite, with a few cameras and a lot of artificial intelligence, is turning any play court into a smart court. And with us here today, we have Hen Shahar, the CEO of PlaySite. Please welcome him.
Why don't you just meet me in the middle? Oh, yeah, I'm losing.
Hen, it's great to have you. Can you tell us a little bit about how sports technology changing, professional sports and amateur sports?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's important to understand that there is a revolution today in the sports market. And like we know that cars are going to drive themselves, we know that every single court and pitch and rink, doesn't matter at which level, are going to be connected to the internet. And obviously 5G and other network accelerators are going to accelerate that revolution. And there is no doubt that every professional football club, every NBA team, every high school and college are going to be connected. And when I say connected, I mean that using AI technology and machine vision algorithms, we are going to connect the physical on-court activities and the digital world. And like Ellen said, suddenly we are bringing more content and capabilities to every level of sport. So parents can watch their kids when they are playing, coaches can use AI technology to improve the performance, and officiators and referees can use VAR technology, challenge replay as an integral part of every single game.
Great. And I know you have some super hotshot investors and customers. Can you mention on stage some of them?
Yeah. So PlaySite was very lucky to have investors like Novak Djokovic, Billie Jean King, Chrissy Evert, Pete Sampras, Andre Agassi, and also corporate investors like Verizon Ventures and SoftBank Ventures Asia. I think what everybody had in common is a vision and passion to sports, that by utilizing technology, we can encourage, especially juniors, to practice sports. And I think today the mission of taking kids off the screens and into the courts is kind of a major mission and a purpose today. Our technology was validated by the sports market, and today we have customers like the Golden State Warriors, Toronto Raptors, 12 teams in the NBA, football clubs like Chelsea and Manchester City, Major League Baseball, 80 Division I universities, and all the way to some top high schools and public schools around the world.
Amazing, amazing. Well, thanks for joining us. Thanks for being with us today. PlaySide is on our platform. So is Perception Point. You can check both companies. You can see all our due diligence materials on them. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
You just meet me in the middle, oh, in the middle.
So to introduce the next company, I want to do a short survey, okay? You probably recognize this line, and I want to ask you to raise your hand if recently you've been in the security line at an airport for 30 minutes or more. Yeah, I see very few people not raising their hand. And that's a problem that we all face in our lives. See-Through is going to change that. See-Through is using artificial intelligence and computer vision to basically screen through our bags and find the real problematic weapons that one could bring in, not the water bottles, which is what they really find today, and do so really, really quickly. We have with us here today Barak Maskevich, Head of Business Development for See-Through. Welcome, Barak.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
So, Barak, tell us, how does it work? How can you do this with computer vision?
So See-Through technology is based on a new generation of artificial intelligence originated from a research started already 15 years ago, actually in Israel, which is really focused on mimicking the way that the human brain works. What does it mean? It can also deal in situations where what you see or appear in front of you is not something that you were trained for completely. So you need to use what we human beings as experience or intuition. This is what the technology behind See-Through is actually doing.
Excellent. And why do airports care about this? I mean, if we're stuck in line, we care, we're going to lose our flight. Why do airports care? Why do they buy your solution?
So there are 4 things associated to the baggage screening, and I could see here many people suffer, right, as a user experience there. First, and above all, it's safety, right? We want to detect threats. TSA conducted inspection of their own personnel, and they found out personnel is great in finding perfumes over 100 milliliters in the bag, but they are not great in finding concealed weapons. More than 90% of the inspection failed. If dismantled guns were put in bags, they were not detected. Second, the operational impact on airport is huge. I mean, this is kind of a bottleneck. The time that is spent in the inspection, the baggage inspection, or the expense usually on time that these travelers could be in duty-free, so commercially there isn't an impact, but even more operationally, there are 2 things. A lot of work and manpower is put into these processes, and there is a lot of churn of those operators. But then, if people are stuck in baggage screening and your flight is waiting, and the pushback from the gate is waiting for the last passengers to come through, right, because the airline doesn't want to take care of them in terms of alternative flights, missing air traffic time slots cause huge damage. One of the European hubs that we are working with actually managed to quantify it as deploying such technology will save them 10 million euros a year. This is one European hub.
How much are you going to charge them?
Well, the business model is around the number of passengers processing. Of course, there are different types of airports, but you could see from the significant saving that there is a huge business potential to make money.
Amazing. Here. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. So we're going to go real quick through Ripple because it's another company on our platform right now that is funding Silicon Valley company out of Berkeley, California. They're the only plant-based milk alternative that has 8 grams of protein per cup. If you drink almond sugar, you're getting 1.5 grams of protein per cup, and you're getting a lot more sugar, okay? Ripple, we call it Beyond Milk. We had a very successful ride with Beyond Meat, and this is exhibiting many of the same KPIs and the same trajectory. In terms of revenue, they're doing this year $50 million, up from $30 million last year. They're available at 15,000 points of sales across the United States. They're going to be in 30,000 by the end of 2021. And they are responsible for 50% of the growth in their category, even though when you go to the shelf at the supermarket, they're the most expensive milk alternative. Again, funding on our platform, if you log in on our website, or you can download the OurCrowd app, and you can see all of these companies in the app. Other companies from our portfolio that are here today, and we heard from Christian, CEO of Envered, they're here. All of these companies are going to be in breakout sessions. Terranis, enabling farmers to spot sub-millimeter bugs on plants. Duma Talk, you heard from Iran, the CEO, doing sugar that tastes twice as sweet as regular sugar, but it's still sugar. So you can use half the amount and get the same sweetness. NG, making car maintenance simple. And the books, which are bringing flowers directly from the farmers to consumers, skipping many hands in the middle, which reduces the cost, reduces the waste, and makes sure that when we get our flowers, they're fresher and last longer. Elminda, brain, big data analytics, we heard about it, amazing company. They're all available in the breakout sessions. And now I want to invite our co-head of funds, Itai Kramer, because we do investment in companies, and you can invest in the companies we're investing in, but we also do funds for those of you that want exposure to the asset class and not necessarily do the deal picking. Itai, welcome.
Thank you, Alan. Good morning, everyone. It's great being here. OurCrowd creates value for its investors by providing access to exciting investment opportunities in startup companies, right? But what about investors that don't necessarily feel comfortable selecting a single investment opportunity on our site? How do we create value for these investors? And the answer is through OurCrowd investment funds. Investors investing through OurCrowd investment funds receive access to a diversified portfolio of venture capital investments structured by a professional management team based on a pre-select investment mandate. If you look at the 19 investment opportunities we've offered to date, and these are some examples, you'll find sector-specific funds like Cure, our digital health fund, or our Metic fund, right? Investing solely in healthcare-related companies. You'll find funds that are linked to our portfolio. Today, OurCrowd has a portfolio of approximately 200 companies, which we slice and dice to create and generate exciting investment opportunities. Think about OurCrowd 50, OurCrowd's hyper-diversified index fund. Investors who invested in OurCrowd 50 only 2 years ago, with as little as $50,000, received access to 50 investment opportunities offered on our site. 50 investment opportunities, diversified across sectors and stages. That fund has already generated 5 exits for our investors. You'll also find interesting investment opportunities in third-party fund managers, where OurCrowd is excited about the fund manager's track record and investment theses. Take, for example, Proof. It's a U.S. fund called Proof, a pro-rata opportunity fund, where the fund managers were able to find a sophisticated way to capitalize on unexercised pro-rata rights of their extensive network of VCs. That fund gave OurCrowd access to the famous Beyond Meat. So investors who are seeking to create a diversified portfolio of venture capital investments structured by a professional management team based on a pre-select investment mandate will find great interest in OurCrowd's investment funds. Thank you.
Thank you, Itai. Thanks for joining us. So we're going to break out now. We have a break. After that, just want to review briefly. We have Meet the Startups, and I encourage you to go to those breakout sessions and spend time with the different CEOs and executives from the startups. We're going to have breakout sessions. There are booths outside presenting, where our companies are presenting. There are plenty of networking events, and all the OurCrowd stuff is available. We look forward to spending some one-on-one time with you. There's the closing plenary later today. I think it's at 2 p.m. We'll get back into this room. And after that, how can we do it without some cocktails? So looking forward to having you all around, and have a great day.